Hello everyone and welcome to my very first live stream on this channel. As I was going to do another video on the Bible and I did not really have time to edit, I decided, well, let's do a live stream, or let's not do a pre-recorded video, let's do a live stream. And yeah, that actually works out the best. So I don't know if many of you know, but in South Africa we are currently on the first day of a 21-day national lockdown because of, well, let's just say the pandemic caused by that which is name we shall not mention, because they demonetize channels if they mention the name. But I'm not going to focus on that virus just yet in this video. I will focus on it in other videos because I think people should be aware of it more. But yeah, that's not really the focus of this video. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the book of Exodus again and just continue on where we left off. So last time we left off, I can't even really remember. I think what happened was this was in Exodus 13, consecration of the firstborn. But neither the pillar of the cloud by day nor the pillar of light left its place in front of the people. So this is when they so God led the people to the Israelites took the bones. God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place. Okay, so they're about to cross the sea, and this chapter is actually going to be them crossing the sea. So let's continue. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to turn back to encamp near Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea. They are to encamp by the sea directly opposite Baal-zephon. Pharaoh will think the Israelites are wandering around the land in confusion, hemmed in by the desert. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them, but I will gain glory for myself through Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord." So the Israelites did this. When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds about them and said, "What have we done? We have let the Israelites go and have lost their services." So he had his chariot made ready and took his army with him. He took 600 of the best chariots along with all the other chariots of Egypt with officers over all of them. So Pharaoh is basically mad because he lost a steady group of his workforce, and now he's about to pursue them. I see that I only have one viewer at this moment in time, and that's just me. But no worries, let's keep going. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, so that he pursued the Israelites, who were marching out boldly. The Egyptians, all Pharaoh's horses and chariots, horsemen and troops, pursued the Israelites and overtook them as they camped by the sea near Pi-hahiroth, opposite Baal-zephon. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up, and there were Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that he brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Then we say to you in Egypt, 'Leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians'? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert." Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid, stand firm, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord will bring you today." The deliverance that the Lord will bring you today. Well, literally, the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians so that they will go in after them. I will gain glory through Pharaoh and all his army, through his chariots and his horsemen. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I gain glory through Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen." Then the angel of the God, who had been traveling in front of Israel's army, withdrew and went behind them. The pillar of the cloud also moved from in front and stood behind them, coming between the armies of Egypt and Israel. Throughout the night the cloud brought darkness to the one side and light to the other side, so neither went near the other all night long. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that the night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with a wall of water on their right and on their left. The Egyptians pursued them, and all Pharaoh's horses and chariots and horsemen followed them into the sea. During the last watch of the night, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and cloud at the Egyptian army and threw it into confusion. He jammed, well, I see there's an annotation, footnote. Okay. I don't know what that footnote means, but anyways, he jammed the wheels of their chariots that they had difficulty driving, and the Egyptians said, "Let's go get away from the Israelites. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the waters may flow back over the Egyptians and their chariots and horsemen." Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and at daybreak the sea went back to its place. The Egyptians were fleeing toward it, or from it. There you go. And the Lord swept them into the sea. The water flowed back and covered chariots and horsemen. The entire army that Pharaoh had followed, the entire army of Pharaoh that had followed the Israelites into the sea, not one of them had survived. But the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with a wall of water on their right and on their left. That day the Lord saved Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians lying dead on the shore. And when the Israelites saw the mighty hand of the Lord displayed against the Egyptians, the people feared the Lord and put their trust in him and in Moses his servant. Let's see, is there any other viewers? Let me just quickly go to my channel. I just want to go to channel dashboard if I can. Let's quickly see if there's any viewers currently now. It's the first time I'm doing a live stream, so let me just see. Let's go over here. So at least I can keep an eye on the live stream, see if it's actually working fine. Really, an ad? Oh yeah, I'm the one in control of the ads. Sorry people. Yeah, but you know, guys gotta have ads on these videos. Oh, look, there's me from the past. Okay, let me just mute that. Okay, so we're still all good. What the heck's going on here? The Song of Moses and Miriam, Exodus 15. And yes, I'm busy with a new international version. I kind of switch between the King James Version and the NIV from time to time. Then Moses and the Israelites sang the song to the Lord. Okay, now I'm kidding. I will sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he has hurled into the sea. I wonder if it rhymed in the original Hebrew. The Lord is my strength and my defense. There's another footnote. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him. My father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his army he has hurled into the sea. The best of Pharaoh's officers are drowned in the Red Sea. The deep waters have covered them. They sank to the depths like a stone. Your right hand, Lord, was majestic in power. Your right hand, Lord, shattered the enemy. In the greatness of your majesty, you threw down those who opposed you. You unleashed your burning anger. It consumed them like stubble. By the blast of your nostrils, the waters piled up. The surging waters stood up like a wall. The deep waters congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy boasted, I will pursue, I will overtake them. I will divide the spoils, I will gorge myself on them. I will draw my sword, and my hand will destroy them. But you blew with your breath, and the sea covered them. I don't know if this is appropriate, but I'm kind of reminded that, you know, Three Little Piggies, the big bad wolf comes along, is like, I will huff and puff and blow your house down. I don't know, I'm reminded of that right now. They sank like, is it Three Little Piggies? I'm not exactly sure. It's been a while since I was a kid. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who among the gods is like you, Lord? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in glory, working wonders? You stretch out your right hand, and the earth swallows your enemies. In your unfailing love you will lead the people you have redeemed, and in your strength you will guide them to your holy dwelling. The nations will hear and tremble. Anguish will grip the people of Philistia. The chiefs of Edom will be terrified. The leaders of Moab will be seized with trembling. The people of Canaan will melt away, or Canaan. Terror and dread will fall on them. By the power of your arm they will be as still as stone until your people pass by, Lord, until the people you brought pass by. You'll bring them in and plant them on the mountain of your inheritance, the place, Lord, you made for your dwelling, the sanctuary, Lord, your hands established. The Lord reigns forever and forever. Let's just see. We can go up to HD. I'm just going to quickly check that my video settings are still A-okay, because, I want to make sure you guys can actually read what I'm reading. To watching now. Yeah, that's me and me watching it. It doesn't look too bad, so I'm just going to change it back so it doesn't kill all the bandwidth. Alright. When Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and horsemen went to the sea, the Lord brought the waters of the sea back over them, but the Israelites walked through the sea on dry ground. Then Miriam the prophet, Aaron's sister, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her with timbrels and dancing. Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted, both horse and driver he has hurled into the sea." I'm pretty sure this rhymed in the original Hebrew, but, lost in translation. The waters of Marah and Elam. Okay, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Then Moses led Israel from the Red Sea, and they went into the desert of Shur. You sure about that? Okay, I'm sorry. For 3 days they traveled in the desert without finding water. When they came to Marah, however you say that, they could not drink its water because it was bitter. This is why the place is called Marah. Marah means bitter. Okay, so they literally just found a place and called it bitter. So the people grumbled against Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. He threw it into the water, and the water became fit to drink. Okay, so we're kind of seeing some parallels between Moses and the story of Jesus, or a foreshadowing of Jesus, because Jesus turned water into wine. I know that's kind of the inverse now, but turning water into something more sustainable or more fitting for current, for the situation at hand. I don't know. It seems to me like a parallel. Let me know what you guys think. That the Lord issued a ruling and instruction for them and put them to the test. He said, "If you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do what is right in his eyes, if you pay attention to his commands and keep all his decrees, I will not bring on you any of the diseases. I'll not bring on you." Okay, let's start again. "I'll not bring on you any of the diseases I brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." Then they came to Elam, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there near the water. Let's look at these footnotes. So A is, "The Lord is my defense," or song. Okay. Or the Sea of Reeds. Was it Red Sea or the Sea of Reeds? Okay, is that another name for it? Or rulers. Let's see, where's that? Where's the one with sea? The people of Canaan, or rulers. Until the people you brought or created, or charioteers, the horsemen or charioteers. Okay, well, there you go. There's some trivia for you. Let's go to Exodus 16. Once again, let's see. How's my live stream going? Feel free to leave any comments or thoughts. Thoughts. There we go. And by the way, if you're watching this in the live stream, feel free to leave your comments and thoughts. I see there's only 2 people watching, and I think it's just me and me. So, manna and quail. Let's just close that. It's doing okay. The whole Israelite community set out from Elam and came to the desert of Sin. I thought, yeah, which is between Elam and Sinai. I don't know how do you say it. On the 15th day of the 2nd month, they came out of Egypt. In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt." Oh my word. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted, but you have brought us out into this desert desert to starve this entire assembly to death. The Lord said to Moses, "I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to go." Excuse me. Are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way I will test them and see whether they will follow my instructions. On the sixth day they are to prepare what they bring in, and that is to be twice as much as they gathered on the other days. So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, in the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard you grumbling against him. Who are we that you should grumble against us? Moses also said, you will know that it was the Lord when he gives you meat to eat in the evening, and all the bread you want in the morning, he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we? You are not grumbling against us, but against the Lord. Then Moses told Aaron, say to the entire Israelite community, come before the Lord, for he has heard you grumbling. Well, Aaron was speaking to the whole Israelite community. They looked toward the desert, and there was the glory of the Lord appearing in a cloud. The Lord said to Moses, I have heard the grumbling of the Israelites. Tell them, at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God. That evening quail came and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. Quail, is that like the bird? Is that what he means? Quail? Yeah, it's like the bird. Of course. When the dew was gone, the thin flakes like frost on the ground appeared on the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, what is it? For they did not know what it was. Okay, and the writer's doing some obvious stating. It's like, what is it? For they did not know what it was. Well, okay, anyway, let me just keep on talking. Moses said to them, it is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Everyone is to gather as much as they need. Take an omer. Okay, I'm going to have to look what that is. Possibly 3 pounds or about 1.4 kilograms. Okay, that's my metric system. An omer. Where was the omer? Take omar. No, omer. For each person you have in your tent. The Israelites did as they were told. Some gathered much, some little. Well, why didn't they ration it? And when they measured it by the omer, the one who gathered much did not have too much. The one who gathered little did not have too little. Everyone had gathered just as much as they needed. Well, okay. It's kind of like the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold. It's just right. Once again, referencing random fairy tales, or whatever you call them. Then Moses said to them, no one has to keep any of it until morning. However, some of them paid no attention to Moses. They kept part of it until the morning, but it was full of maggots and began to smell. So Moses was angry with them. Each morning everyone gathered as much as they needed, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. On the sixth day they gathered twice as much, 2 omers. 2.8, yeah, okay, that's, I think we're getting the metric system now. Take an omer, okay, where was the other one? For each person, and the leaders of the community came and repeated this to Moses. He said to them, this is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever is left and keep it until morning. So they saved it until morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink or get maggots in it, nor did it get any maggots in it. Eat it today, Moses said. Let me just highlight so you guys can know where I am. Moses said, because today is a Sabbath to the Lord. You will not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you are to gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will not be any. Nevertheless, some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather it, but they found none. Oh my word. Seems like Moses got a headache every single day, because, I mean, he tells them, don't do this or do that, and they just don't listen. Good heavens. Then the Lord said to Moses, how long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? There's another footnote. The Hebrew is plural. How long will you, the plural you, yeah. Non-English speakers do have plural you, so maybe this is translated into their language. Then they would understand, like basically any non-English language. Like, or you could just imagine it as saying, how long will y'all refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? Okay, that was cheesy, I know. Bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the 6th day he gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone is to stay where they are on the 7th day. No one is to go out. So the people rested on the 7th day. Good. The people of Israel called the bread manna. Manna sounds like the Hebrew for, what is it? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. It was white like coriander seed. Well, let's look up coriander seed. Any day now. Coriander seed. Oh, so it's white like this. Let's go to Google Images. Don't worry, folks, they did clean it up quite a bit since, 10 years ago. Well, it's slow. It's because I'm live streaming, that's why. Kind of looks like peanuts. Doesn't it? Looks like peanuts. White is coriander seed. Coriander seed is kind of brownish. Anyway. It tastes like wafers made with honey. Oh, that's nice. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Take an omer of manna and keep it for the generations to come, so they can see the bread I gave you to eat in the wilderness when I brought you out of Egypt." So the Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it." I'm a little tired, so I thought he said take an omer of banana in it. Put an omer of banana in it. You can do that as well, I guess. Then place it before the Lord to be kept for the generations to come. So the Lord's got an eternal fridge, basically. As the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron put the manna with the tablets of the covenant law so that may be preserved. So he put it right next to the part of thou shalt not kill or something like that. The Israelites ate manna 40 years until they came to a land that was settled. They ate manna until they reached the border of Canaan. An omer is 1/10 of an ephah. Now, what the hell, what the heck is an ephah? Excuse me. Water from the rock. Okay, I think let's quickly check on here. Is there anybody who tuned in? No, not yet. It's alright. It's pretty late in the evening. I've been recording for 20 minutes now. It doesn't feel like it. Okay, let's keep it going. Water from the rock. So the whole Israelite community set out from the desert of Sin. Isn't that just an epic name? Desert of Sin. Kind of sounds like a Final Fantasy game. We were in the desert of Sin, right next to, thousands of enemies that pop out and force you into combat with them. Anyway, traveling from place to place as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. That sucks. So they quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water to drink." Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" But the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and livestock die of thirst?" Okay, I can already sense why Moses got so annoyed with them. Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord answered Moses, "Go out in front of the people, take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. I will stand there before you by the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock, and water will come out of it for the people to drink." So Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel. Then he called the place Massah and Meribah. Okay, I'm pretty sure you don't say it like it's Spanish. Massah means testing. Meribah means quarreling. So he's just naming it verbs, and that's how they named it. They named it after verbs or something like basic stuff. Anyway, because the Israelites quarreled because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" The Amalekites defeated. The Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim. One second. Wow, okay. I just hit my computer with my chair. The computer's fine, by the way. It's made out of titanium steel, the case. So a little bump is not going to bruise it. Choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning, but whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. Okay. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took up a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Well, that's improvisation for you. Aaron and Hur held his hands up, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady until sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with a sword. So Joshua was already a brilliant military tactician by this point. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this on the scroll as something to be remembered, and make sure that Joshua hears it, because I will completely blot out the name of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar and called it, "The Lord is my banner." He said, because hands were lifted up against the throne of the Lord will be at war against the Amalekites from generation to generation. Well, that's Exodus 17. I think this is as good a place as any to leave it off. How many chapters do we still have left? We have about 22 more chapters left after Exodus 18. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this live stream, my very first live stream on this channel, or my very first live stream, well, ever. And yeah, I would just like to thank all the guys who watched this after the fact. I know not there weren't people that tuned in now. I don't know if there were any, I didn't notice. But thank you guys for the views, the support. Remember to subscribe, leave a like, all that good stuff. And yeah, stay safe with all that's going on in the world. Please remember, wash your hands, practice proper hygiene, social distancing, stay at home, follow the protocols set up by the government. My own said that stay at home unless you're going out to buy food, essential stuff like food, water, and yeah, that's about it. Don't go out to any bars or so, or anything like that, or go party in the streets or do anything dumb. Just stay at home, stay safe, monitor your health, make sure you don't have any symptoms, and yeah, but please guys, do stay safe. I know it's day one into the lockdown, boredom may set in after a while, so watch my videos to not be bored. I'm kidding. You can watch any videos or just do something constructive, study, just keep your mind busy. Don't be bored, because a lot of people do stupid things when they get bored. Or yeah, well, not necessarily. If they don't find anything good to do, just find something good to do. Don't do anything stupid. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys again next time on another video right here on KVRX.